What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with Astro DFS, and in today's video, I'm going over Week 16's two-game Saturday slate. So fortunately for us, we get a lot of different football slates towards the end of the year. We get a Saturday slate, Sunday slate, and Monday showdown. So we get a couple different varieties of some matchups. So on this two-game slate, we get Philly on the road against Washington and Green Bay on the road against Chicago. At the end of this, I will do an example lineup. We'll just try to build a lineup based off of some players that I like. So for quarterbacks, we already know Jane Daniels is out. So at quarterback, it's easier to kind of construct your lineup. The difficult part is the injuries in the game. So we'll go over that as we get to the positions. But Jalen Hurts looks really, really safe in this one at 6,900. They're big road favorites. Washington's defense is kind of just banged up as a whole. Philly kind of, getting a groove back somewhat the last 2 weeks. 40 pass attempts one game against the Chargers. Terrible game out of Jalen Hurts, and then he bounces back against a very bad defense in Vegas. 15 pass attempts, but 175 yards and 3 touchdowns in that one. And get some mobile rushing in that one too. So Jalen Hurts, for the price point and kind of the ceiling that he has, he's one of the favorite quarterbacks on the slate. So I definitely like him a lot. And then we get to the other three, which is a huge drop-off in price. Jordan Love on the road against Chicago. We don't know what his weapons are going to be. This is why it's a crazy slate, because you're going to have to play, cautious, risky. You're going to have to play difficult. Josh Jacobs has not practiced. Don't know if he's going to play. Christian Watson, kind of the same thing. Dontavian Wicks has been banged up. Don't really know what that wide receiver and running back room are going to look like. Lloyd will not go, so it should be Emmanuel Wilson if Josh Jacobs is ruled out. But for that aspect, we kind of know the Bears defense has some injury issues, linebacker, cornerback. So do I like Jordan Love? If Josh Jacobs is out, then yes, I like Jordan Love in this one. They're going to be on the road. We saw a home game out of Jordan Love last time. And you could see kind of the difference, shockingly. Huge difference for Jordan Love, a 6.5 point, 6.8 difference in away and home games for Jordan Love in this one. Where if the run game isn't successful because Josh Jacobs isn't there, then yeah, I'm okay targeting the pass game. I'm okay, paying down $1,200 to go to Jordan Love and saying they're going to pass the ball a lot. Whether they have success or not is a different story. But at $5,700, it allows you to get a solid lineup. And no one really is priced up on this slate, which is really interesting. And you're going to have to pivot based off of injuries in the late game. Caleb Williams, DeAndre Swift banged up, Rome out, Luther Burden out. People aren't going to play Caleb Williams as much. 15.9 in their game they just played a few weeks ago. Really bad first half out of Caleb Williams. The second half was much, much better. I'm okay for the ownership of getting Caleb Williams. I have him and Marcus Mariota as kind of the two lower owned quarterbacks. More people I think are going to be willing to play Jordan Love. Even if Watson's out and Wicks is out, you still have Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, which they're not superstars, don't get me wrong, but all of them have the capability of having a really good game. That's just how that Packers wide receiver room is. You just got to pick the right one. Christian Watson's taken off, but if he's not playing, it gets interesting. So, yes, Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love are my two favorite. If you're looking for leverage, then yes, you could go with Caleb Williams, maybe a Marcus Mariota. Their defense just does not look good. They're going to have to pass the ball a lot. Philly has given up quite a bit of rushing to opposing quarterbacks, and we've seen Marcus Mariota in some of these games get a good amount of fantasy points from that. So yeah, at his price point, you could do a lot with it. I just don't think you need to on a slate like this. So he's probably my last option. The leverage play would be Caleb Williams. If not, I'm targeting Hurts or Jordan Love. At running back, like I said, this is where it gets interesting. Josh Jacobs has not practiced, so if he's out, we get Emmanuel Wilson at 4,300 against the Bears, who have had some linebacker injuries. Their defensive line has been good. They played the run really, really good lately. So that is a concern. But at 4,300, he is worth looking at. Yeah, again, I will mention you don't have to pivot down a lot on this slate. You don't have to. If Josh Jacobs is out, like the price point is great, but it's not saying I have to get Emmanuel Wilson in my lineup. I said the Bears have played running backs really good. I will say though, Lloyd would still not be there. Jacobs would be out, and Brooks would be banged up. So you would imagine Emmanuel Wilson gets a bulk workload. It's just the efficiency that it's in, right? We've seen 2 good games out of Emmanuel Wilson when he gets the majority of the workload in a game, 29 points against the Minnesota defense. So keep that in mind. But here's the thing. It's the late game. The Bears-Packers game is the late game. So if you're playing Josh Jacobs, then you have to pivot, right? Then you have to pivot. But when you're going at the price points, and I'll go back to running back really quick. But when you're going over the price points of the Bears Packers, we'll just get them both. This is what we get, right? If you have Josh Jacobs in your lineup, DeAndre Swift's the next guy at 5,900. He's been banged up. It's not a guarantee that DeAndre Swift is going to play either. So then you move down to someone like a DJ Moore at 53. So almost a 2K pay down from Josh Jacobs to DJ Moore, right? So you have to be cautious if you're targeting the Packers-Bears game. It's probably going to be why, and it's a 3-hour difference. So it's about an hour and a half is when you should get the injury news. Obviously, we've seen situations like Rome Odunze last week where it was like 5 minutes before kickoff, he got ruled out. You have to play cautious with the Bears-Packers games. There is a lot of question marks in that game of who is and isn't going to play. And if you're playing Josh Jacobs in your lineup, if he plays great, right, you're probably going to have leverage on people not wanting to take that risk. But if you do play him and he's out, I mean, it's really tough. It's really tough to make up that salary. So Saquon Barkley, I love Saquon Barkley on this slate. At 7,200, I think he's a must-have for your lineups. Even if he has one of his average games that he's had this season, I still think he's probably one of the running backs you target just every time. It's a really good matchup for him. I think Eddie Goldman is already ruled out for Washington, and their defense is already really, really banged up as is. Philly dealing with some offensive line injuries as well, but still against this Washington defensive front, I love Philly in this one. So Saquon Barkley, 7,200, love it. Yes, DeAndre Swift is where things get kind of risky at running back because we already said, like, Josh Jacobs is a question mark, right? We're playing Saquon, at least if you're like me, we're playing Saquon. Who do we take as our other running back, right? If we target DeAndre Swift and he is out, we could pay down for Kyle Monangai at 4,900. Like, there's no Micah Parsons. The Bears' offensive line has been good. Saul Monangai, 14 for 57 in that one. Wasn't his greatest, but out of some of the most more recent games, that has been one of his best. But you look at, like, you take DeAndre Swift's usage as well, and, like, Kyle Monangai looks really good at 4,900. But yet again, you're playing a risk there either way of is Swift in, is Swift out. Washington, I'd like to say Washington, you might get some value here. Chris Rodriguez just did not play good against in their last game against Minnesota. Got banged up. We got Krosky Merritt. Good game out of Krosky Merritt. 15.6 points out of him versus New York. Good game for him. But you're going to have Chris Rodriguez in, so yet again, what do you do there? Do you take Rodriguez? Do you take Krosky Merritt? What route do you go? And that's why I think this slate's going to be interesting. I truly cannot wait to see what the ownership closes in on in tournaments. And if you're playing cash, then can't wait to see what cash looks like. Wide receiver, A.J. Brown, love him at his price point, 6,700. The most expensive receiver, 6,700 on this slate. Like I said, the running back, 72, and then a huge drop-off. Quarterback, 69, and then 57, so a huge drop-off there. And even the tight ends, the most expensive tight end is 4,100. So it's really easy on this slate to plug in an A.J. Brown, to plug in a Devontae Smith. On the other side, to plug in a Terry McLaurin at 5,900. I am cautious, yes. Do I think it's possible against this Philly defense? Maybe not. I'd probably rather go, a DJ Moore, maybe a Christian Watson. If Christian Watson's out, then it's no big deal to pivot to a Jaden Reed at 5K. DJ Moore, like you have to figure, was really not included in that game against Green Bay. Could have possibly had a touchdown to tie it up. That's the what if scenario. I don't like playing that. But with no Luther Burden, no Roma Dunze, you figure DJ Moore is going to be game planned more than he has. But I mean, he stepped up last week in Cleveland. One touchdown was amazing. It's probably one of the better catches of the season against Cleveland. So you look at DJ Moore in a tough matchup against Green Bay, but we kind of seen Green Bay's defense get beat a little more than they have in recent weeks. So yeah, DJ Moore, his price is fine. I'm fine with that. Christian Watson, if he's in, yeah, it's a great matchup for Christian Watson. I just watch the injury news, see if he's limited. And this is where the pivot gets easy. If you're playing Christian Watson, this is what you could do. And it's very simple. You could plug in Christian Watson and say, put him in your flex. Put him in your flex. If you want him as wide receiver, go ahead. You could do that too. Because you could pivot off of Christian Watson and go with Jaden Reed at 5K. And you're paying down $200. If you leave some cash over, that's fine on a slate like this. It is really fine. Deebo Samuel at 5,100. If I were to play somebody on Washington for the pass catchers, I would target Deebo Samuel. Terry McLaurin has looked better than Deebo. It seems like Deebo's not getting included as much as he was early on in the season. But in a matchup like this, I think they're going to find a way to get the ball in Deebo Samuel's hands. Obviously, Philly plays a really, really good defense. But I still think someone like Deebo Samuel's going to be included. And at his price point, I'm fine with that. Jaden Reed, like for 5K, since he's returned, 4 for 31, 5 for 55. No touchdowns, but he's on the field. Christian Watson may not play. Dontavian Wicks might not play. So I would really like Jaden Reed in that matchup, going to be in the slot quite a bit. Romeo Doubs, since Jaden Reed has returned, 5.6 points total in the 2 games since he's returned. Only 5 targets in those games as well. So am I cautious with Romeo Doubs as well? Yes. I lean Jaden Reed. Maybe if you want to just throw a Hail Mary, we say Matthew Golden does something for once this season, because he really hasn't done anything. No touchdowns for Matthew Golden this season. Can he do it in this one? Maybe. He's been close a couple times. Dontavian Wicks, yeah, he could be a good leverage play at 3,700. It's kind of the same thing. You can, if you target Wicks, do the same thing, except you get a Bears player and you get Zacchaeus at 3,500. You pay 200 less, and you get Zacchaeus at 3,500. Other than that, for Chicago, Devin Duvernay probably going to see the field a little more. J.D. Walker, if you remember him in the preseason, he was a stud. It was preseason, though, so just take it easy. It was preseason, but he had some really good plays for the Bears in that preseason. So if you're playing a good amount of lineups on this 2-game slate, then yeah, I'm going to want exposure to Devin Duvernay. He's on special teams as well. And then J.D. Walker, maybe they get him included, but I'm not fully sold on it. But you could go that route. So moving on to tight end. Dallas Goedert 4,100. Love it against Washington. Really good piece to have. I think stacking Philly is probably the route a lot of people go on this one. Colston Loveland, am I fine with getting 2 tight ends on this slate? Yes, I am. And that is because Rome is out. Luther Burden's out. Cole Kmet's been banged up this week. May play. But Colston Loveland's got a pretty consistent workload lately. It's just what comes out of it. Does he get a red zone target? All that stuff. In their last game, 12.9 out of him. 3,900. He's cheap. I'm fine with it. So, yeah, I love Goddard. I love Loveland. Both those guys. Luke Musgrave might be interesting to me in this one. Last 2 weeks, he saw 10 targets, so 5 a game in his last 2 weeks. He's 2,700, so you can punt that way. Other than that, if you want to go like a Ben Sinnott and just try to get something out of him, maybe Bates, but I just kind of like. I think it's between Goddard and Loveland. Honestly, if Cole Kmet plays, then yeah, you could go off the leverage. Like Cole Kmet's had a little more involvement lately. It's not a lot, but a little more than what we were kind of seeing the entire season. So if he's in, yeah, I don't think it's necessarily bad, but I don't love it either. And then defenses, I'm truly looking at Philly against Washington. I think that's just the route I go. And you can afford it easily. I'm not really interested in Commanders, so then I lean between Bears and Packers for the defense. The Bears defense, I continue to mention, they just get takeaways. They're not getting a whole lot of sacks, but they're getting takeaways. 30 this season for the Bears. Even against Green Bay, we saw a pick in that game too. Only 2 points out of them, but still, they're 2,500. Green Bay without Micah Parsons, it is scary against this Bears offensive line. Maybe we're just hoping Caleb Williams makes some mistakes in this game and they get some takeaways, but it's pretty much Philly's defense. So let's build a lineup. We're going to put Philly's defense in there. We're going to try right away and double tight end this one. And we're going to start off there. Let's go. Let's go different. So I think Jalen Hurts is really good. I do. Let's see what we could do though, because I have to have Saquon. Have to have Saquon in my lineup. Let's go with a Monungai. We go AJ Brown. We're getting Jordan Love, so we want Watson as well. And then let's go. We got a lot, so we could kind of switch it up. A lot left over, but let's go. We can go with Jaden Reed as well. So we got 37. So obviously we could pivot. And we could do a whole lot. Like, this is crazy. You could fit everybody in. You could basically fit everybody in. So, obviously, I don't love getting Hurts, Barkley, Brown, Goddard. That's just asking for somebody to fail. So, like, let's go with the Jordan Love and get Saquon. And let's say Josh Jacobs is the guy at 7,300. I mean, he had a good game against the Bears. If he's not in, then we're screwed, right? If he's out, we put Swift and we got a lot of salary left over. So it does make sense to kind of stack Philly and just go this route, but then you have salary left over. If you really wanted to, you could pivot Watson and throw because salary allows us Terry McLaurin, but I like Debo better, so let's throw Debo in there. So we have salary. We have a lot of salary left over, and that's what I mean. You're going to have salary left over on this slate. So I get Hurts, Barkley, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, and their defense, which I don't know if you could do. I think you could have 4. I think you could have 4, so we would have to pivot. But still, nonetheless, you could do a really good build like this. So yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that on paper. I get Loveland and Swift. I get a Jaden Reed for Green Bay, and then I pretty much just attack the Philly-Washington game. So hope you guys did enjoy. Hope this video helped. If you did like it and this video helped, please leave a like and subscribe. Trying to get to 1,000 subs. Probably not going to hit it this season. Obviously, we only have a few weeks left. Regular season and some playoffs. But if you guys are enjoying it, please hit that subscribe button. I am trying to get to 1,000 subs. So we'll just keep chugging along until we get there. So yet again, thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one.